Chapter 3. Cleaning food. Quick feed focus. Separation of substance from mixtures. Water a universal solvent. Methods of separation. In many situations of our daily life we separate one or more substances from a mixture. The substances which consist of two or more types of pure substances are called mixtures. Pure substances contain particles of only one kind. Sometimes your mother prepare a dish containing peas, paneer and potato etc. out of which you always select and eat your favorite items. Most of children separate their favorites and keep the unwanted out. Sometimes it becomes very difficult to separate some items from a mixture. You must have seen your mother separating stones from pulses and tea leaves using strainer. In their examples we see that separation is easy because the substances we have to separate are of different sizes and shapes and easy to identify. Sometimes it becomes difficult to separate the desired substance from the mixture when all the components are of same size, color and shape. How can you separate a mixture of rice and sugar? Have you ever seen your grandma churning milk? What does she do with milk? Actually she separates butter from milk. This is called mechanical method of separating substances. Activity 1. A list of some substances is given in the following table. Categorize them as a mixture or pure substances. Serial number. Substance. Contents. One or more substance. Mixture. Pure substance. 1. Kheer. 2. Tomato soup. 3. Tea leaves. 4. Sugar. 5. Wheat grain. 6. Rice grain. A mixture contains many components which do not lose their identity. These substances can be separated by various physical methods. In this lesson we will learn about the need to separate substances from a mixture and the methods of separation. Separation of substances from mixture. Removing one substance from a mixture is called separation. It involves the removal of unwanted components from the mixture. Following are the main reasons for separation of substances from a mixture. To remove undesirable substances, stones from pulses and rice are removed before cooking. While pouring tea in the cup, tea leaves are removed from tea with the help of a strainer. Here, both stones and tea leaves are undesirable substances. To obtain useful components, the useful components of petroleum such as petrol and diesel are separated from petroleum, which is a complex mixture of hydrocarbons and many other organic compounds. Methods of separation. The method of separation of components from a mixture depends on the properties of all the components such as size of particles and solubility. The methods of separation of substances are given below. Methods of separation. Separation of solids from other solids: sieving, hand-picking, threshing, winnowing. Separation of insoluble solids from liquid: sedimentation, decantation, filtration. Separation of soluble solids, liquids: evaporation and condensation, distillation. Separation of solids from other solids. 1. Sieving. This method is used to separate the components of mixtures which differ in size. The size of holes in the sieve depends on the components to be separated out. Sieves with bigger pores, holes, are used to separate stone pebbles from sand. Sieves in the kitchen with fine holes are used to separate the bigger particles such as wheat seeds and barn from flour. Activity 2. Take the handful of wheat in a plate. Try to hand-pick the undesirable components like stones. Identify the property of wheat and stones that enables you to separate them. 2. Hand-picking. This method is used to separate components of mixture when the undesirable solid differs in shape, size or color from the useful component. This method is applied only when the undesirable solid is present in small quantities and the quantity of the mixture is also small. For example, your mother hand-picks stones from pulses and rice before cooking. Activity 3. Take a bowl of wheat flour. Put a handful of rice in it. Put this mixture in the sieve. Move the sieve to and fro. You will observe that the wheat flour passes through the holes and rice grains are left behind on the sieve. 3. Threshing. This process is used to separate grains from stalk. This is done by beating the stalks with sticks or by allowing bullocks to trample the stalks. Machines are used on large scale to separate grain from stalks. In big fields, threshing is done by using threshers and harvester combined. Using these machines is economical and a more efficient method of threshing. 4. Winnowing. In this method, lighter components, chaff, is separated from the heavier ones, grains, with the help of wind of air force. The threshed grain still has lighter fibrous mass called husk, with which the grain was covered inside the stalk. Grain and husk are separated by winnowing. Husk is lighter than the grain, which makes separate heap at a short distance, and the heavier grain falls below and collected. Activity 4. You can separate husk from wheat grains by winnowing. Take half basket of wheat grain with husk and pour it from a height of your shoulder in front of a running table fan. Put these small pieces in a tray and mix them. You will observe that wheat grains, being heavier, fall closer to you and husk blow away from you. Try these. Circle the correct word to make meaningful sentences. 1. Pure substances. Mixtures consist of particles of one kind. 2. Salt. Soil is a pure substance. 3. Handpicking, sieving, is a method for separating solids from solids when the quantity of the mixture is not very large. 4. Grains are separated from stalks by winnowing, threshing. 5. In big fields, threshing is done using bullocks, threshers. Separation of insoluble solids from liquids. 1. Sedimentation and decantation. Insoluble solid is separated from a liquid by sewing. These methods. Complete separation is not possible with this method. You must have seen your mother soaking rice grains in water before cooking. She does so to separate rice grains from the lighter components such as straw, insects, etc. Sedimentation is a process in which heavier particles of an insoluble solid like soil in a liquid settle down at the bottom. The solid particles that settle down at bottom is called sediment. After sedimentation, a process known as decantation is done to separate liquid from solid particles. It involves pouring out the liquid without disturbing the sediment. The liquid that is poured out still contains some insoluble solid particles. Activity 5. To perform sedimentation and decantation. Take a half glass of water. Put some sand in it and stir well. Leave it undistributed for half an hour. You will notice that the sand forms a sediment at the bottom of the tumbler as shown in Fig. A. Then carefully pour the water out from the top into another container without disturbing the sediment. The water collected in separate container will not contain sand particles. During sedimentation, the heavier particles settle down quickly but finer particles take longer time. Finer particles can be made to settle faster by adding small pieces of alum to the muddy water. This method is called loading. Filtration. This is the process of separating insoluble solids present in a liquid by using a filter. Your mother uses a strainer to filter tea leaves from the prepared tea. Some people tie a thin muslin cloth to the mouth of a tap to filter mud in the water. Filtration is also used to separate pulp from fresh juice and for preparing paneer at home. In the laboratory, filtration is done using a filter paper kept in a funnel. A filter paper is a circular paper with very fine invisible holes in it. For filtration to be carried out, the filter paper is folded into the shape of a cone in 4 steps as shown in figures and kept in the funnel. Activity 6. To separate mud and water from muddy water using filter paper. Take a glass funnel and fix it on a stand. Place a glass beaker below it as shown in figure. Take a circular filter paper and fold it twice to form a cone in which 1 leaf is on one side and 3 leaves on the other side. Place the cone-shaped filter paper inside the funnel. Now, pour some muddy water inside the filter paper kept in the funnel. You will observe that clear water collects drop by drop in the beaker below it and mud particles are left inside the filter paper. Separation of soluble solids from liquids. This process completes in 2 steps: evaporation and condensation. Evaporation. A soluble solid can be separated from the liquid by evaporation. The process of converting a liquid into vapor by heating is called evaporation. As a result of heating, the liquid evaporates, leaving behind the solid component. Activity 7. To separate salt from the salt solution by evaporation. Take some water in a china dish and dissolve a spoon of common salt and stir it well. Place the china dish on a tripod stand with a burner placed below it. Boil the water till it evaporates, leaving behind common salt. The process of evaporation is used to obtain salt from seawater. Seawater is collected in shallow pits and allowed to stand there for evaporation. The water evaporates completely with sun's heat, leaving behind salt. This salt is then purified and used as common salt. 2. Condensation. The process of changing vapor into liquid on cooling is called condensation. This method is used for the desirable liquid component of the mixture. When water vapor comes in contact with a cold surface, it changes into water droplets due to condensation. Activity 8. To separate both salt and water from salt solution. Take some salt solution in a kettle and place it on a tripod stand and light a burner below it. Heat the kettle till you see steam coming out. Form its spout. Hold a frying pan containing some ice above the steam in a slanting position. As steam comes in contact with the cold surface of frying pan, it condenses to drops of water. These droplets trickle down on the underside of the frying pan, can be collected in a beaker, and salt is left behind in the kettle. 3. Distillation. This process is used for obtaining both the dissolved soluble substance and the liquid in which it is dissolved. In this method, the mixture is heated in a flask, so that solid component is left behind in the flask and the liquid is collected in another beaker with the help of a condenser as shown in the figure. You will learn more about this process in higher class. Try these. Answer these questions in short. 1. Define the terms. A. Filtration. B. Sedimentation. C. Decantation. D. Evaporation. A. Condensation. 2. Circle the correct word among the 2 given in bold to make a meaningful sentence. A. Salt is obtained from seawater by the process of evaporation, condensation. B. The process of evaporation involves heating, cooling. C. Loading is a process used to increase the rate of sedimentation, decantation. D. A filter paper is used during the process of filtration, sedimentation. A. A filter paper is made into cone in 2-4 steps. F. Decantation is followed by sedimentation, loading. Separation of immiscible liquids. Oil and water are immiscible liquids. Oil does not dissolve in water. It floats on water. It can be separated from water using a separating funnel. Activity 9. Mix oil and water in a separating funnel. Leave it undisturbed for some time. You will see a clear layer of oil over water. Turn the stopper of the separating funnel open and allow the water to flow out into the beaker placed below it. Stop the flow as soon as the layer of oil reaches the stopper. Separation of oil and water by using separating funnel. Sometimes a single method of separation is not sufficient to separate different components from the mixture. 2 or more methods of separation are used, one after another. This is clear by the following activity. Activity 10. To separate the components of the mixture of sand and salt. Take a mixture of sand and salt in a beaker. Pour some water into it and stir well. Leave it undisturbed for some time. You will observe that the sand settles at the bottom of the beaker. Fig. B. Now use the process of filtration and decantation to separate the salt water from sand as shown in Fig. C. To separate salt from water, use the method of evaporation. By doing this, the salt is left behind in the dish as shown in Fig. A. Thus, by using the processes of decantation, filtration and evaporation, we can separate sand and salt from their mixture. Water, a universal solvent. Water is called the universal solvent because it can dissolve many things in it. When a substance is dissolved in water, it forms a solution. The substance that dissolves is called solute. The substance in which the solute dissolves is called solvent. The resulting mixture is called solution. Try to keep adding salt to a glass of water by continuous stirring. After some time, no more salt can dissolve in the water. The extra salt added is left undissolved at the bottom of the glass. This is because the solution has become saturated. A solution in which no more solute can be dissolved at a given temperature is called saturated solution. However, at higher temperature, more solute can be dissolved in a saturated solution. Activity 11. Take half beaker of water. Add a small quantity of sugar to it and keep stirring. The sugar will dissolve in water. Keep on dissolving more and more sugar until more sugar dissolves and it starts settling at the bottom of the beaker. Thus, the solution has become saturated. Now heat this saturated solution. You will observe that the undissolved sugar dissolves. Thus, raising the temperature makes the saturated solution unsaturated and more sugar dissolves in it. Quick recap. Separation is required to eliminate undesirable components from a mixture or to extract useful components. Solids can be separated from other solids by sieving, handpicking, threshing or winnowing. Insoluble solids can be separated from liquids by sedimentation, decantation or filtration. Soluble solids can be separated from liquids by evaporation and condensation, or by distillation. When a substance, solute, dissolves in water, solvent, a solution is obtained. A pure substance is made up to only one type of particles. A mixture has two or more different types of particles. Choice of the method of separation of the components of a mixture depends upon the nature of the components to be separated.